Hello and welcome back to the Geordie Pig Investor channel. If you're serious about tracking your portfolio and making smarter investment decisions, you need more than just a basic spreadsheet. In this video, I'm going to show you why Snowball Analytics is my go-to tool for portfolio tracking and how it's helped me stay on top of my investments while growing a portfolio to over £50,000 in under 2 years. Snowball Analytics is an online portfolio tracker designed for dividend investors and long-term stockholders. It's clean, intuitive, and packed with features that make portfolio tracking effortless. It's coming up to nearly 2 years since I started using it, and I can honestly say it's made my investing process so much smoother. As you can see on screen right now, this is my dashboard, so you can see my holdings, performance, and dividend income at a glance. Depending on which subscription you have, you may be able to create multiple accounts, which is really useful if you have more than one portfolio, but you want to keep the tracking separate. For example, I also have a free trade ISA on here, and I wanted to track these two portfolios separately, so I've been able to do so with the subscription that I do have access to on my account. And if you are interested in using Snowball Analytics, I have a link in the description down below which will give you a 2-week free trial of any subscription you want, and then if you do stick with it, there's an extra discount waiting for you at the checkout. One feature I love is when you hover over your total profit, it will highlight exactly where it comes from. You can see in my own portfolio, I've had over £2,000 in capital gains and close to £1,500 in realised profit and loss, and I've now received over £1,700 in dividend payments, alongside paying £78 in tax and £210 in fees. Your fees and taxes are going to vary depending on the platform you choose, so make sure you choose wisely. If you don't already have an account with Freetrade, I'd highly recommend you check my link in the description down below, as you're going to be able to receive a free share worth between £10 and £100 by simply downloading the app and starting your portfolio. It's an absolute no-brainer. Overall, you can see my portfolio is up just over £5,100 and my dividend yield currently sits at 4.89%, which means I should expect to receive over £2,500 over the next 12 months. As I start to scroll down, you can then see this nice pie on the left hand side, which is breaking down the different sectors in my portfolio and the different allocations I have within each one. This is a really important feature, as a lot of people may feel their portfolio is well diversified between different stocks without actually realizing that multiple stocks are from the same sector, so really you don't actually have that good a diversification within your portfolio. Without seeing this laid out like it is in front of me right now, it can be very easy to overinvest in one area and not realizing you're doing so. An example of this, even in my own portfolio, would be recently I've been buying a lot of Greggs and B&M, and you can see that the consumer discretionary area is now over 15% of my overall portfolio, which is on the high side for me personally. So because of this, I'll now be looking to add to other sectors till this allocation is back under 12%. Having said that, it is nice to see that most of my sectors are in the green, with only 2 of them being down right now and the rest of them all being up a healthy amount. If I keep scrolling down further, you can then see the real-time updates within your portfolio, as it highlights what stocks are performing well for the day and then also highlights what stocks are performing not so well. So an example in my portfolio, we can see my best performer today was actually United Health Group, up over 3%. And then my worst performer was JGGI, which was down 0.35% or £27. Another really cool feature is just clicking this button here, as it'll then show me what my worst performer is in terms of percentages rather than actual amount. So if you want to see it in percentages, you just click on this button, and then if you want to see it in amounts, you just click it one more time. A very nice feature that was recently added by Snowball Analytics. And then underneath this, you can actually see any recent events or upcoming events that are about to take place. This can include dividend payouts, ex-dividend dates, or big news that has come out on any particular stock in your portfolio. One of my favorite features on the Snowball Analytics app is the calendar feature, because with this one you can actually click through and see exactly what stocks are going to be paying you for the month and the exact amount that they are going to be paying out. One part that I absolutely love about the calendar feature is that it doesn't just show you it for the coming month, but you can look into the future and check out how much money you're likely to be receiving in future months as well. And on the graph at the top, you can see which dividend payments have been paid out for the month, which ones have been declared, and then which ones are estimates looking into the future. And it's pretty cool to see that I'm now earning over £6.70 on a daily basis from my dividend portfolio. And if you want to see how much you have received in previous months, you can see so on this graph right here. This one is highlighting year to date, but you can also look at the 12 trailing months and see how much you have been receiving and what it compares to future months, which really is a great feature because it's going to highlight, for example, last September I made £72, and if we look forward to next September, which is next month, I'm going to be on for making over £177. If we come back to the top of the screen and go onto analytics, we can go onto the overall portfolio and see how each position is performing. Again, a really nice feature on Snowball is that it doesn't just show you the capital gains, but it'll also include any fees paid, any dividends received, and any realized profit and loss to bring you your overall total. So we can see, for example, with British American Tobacco, that I am up £768.37, which equates to an 86% return on that position. And it will do this for every single position in your portfolio. If you then come across to the diversification feature, we can see how my portfolio is diversified between each individual holding, with my biggest position being the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF and my second biggest position being my JP Morgan Global Growth and Income ETF, which for me personally is such an important feature to have the majority of your funds in ETFs. Moving on to the dividends tab, we can then see the overall yield of the portfolio, but another nice feature is actually seeing the yield on cost. So this is actually how much I am receiving from my portfolio right now. And then on the graph beside it, we can actually see each holding in my portfolio and what their current dividend yield is, and also the yield on cost that I am receiving from that particular company. On Snowball Analytics, they also have a feature where they show you their dividend ratings for each company, so they'll tell you how safe they believe it is right now. You can see I've got 3 current stocks that are in the not safe range, but every other one is in the okay, safe, or reliable range. So it's just another great feature for you to look through your portfolio. For example, if you had all of your stocks in the unsafe range, then you may want to reconsider some of the positions, as it might be okay to have a couple of positions in that range. But for the most part, if you're building long-term dividend wealth, then you might want to reconsider and have some safer stocks in the portfolio. And if we click onto the growth feature, it comes up with another graph on here. Loads of graphs today, but ones that are very insightful and useful for you to see. This one is showing you the difference between your portfolio and the S&P 500. So we can see that I'm actually trailing it just slightly since the beginning of this year by 0.02% or £11. So overall, I'm actually very happy with my portfolio performance so far this year. And you can compare it with different benchmarks as well. So I can click on the selected benchmark here, and for example, I could compare it with the FTSE 100 and see how I'm also performing against that. So as you can see, so far this year, the FTSE 100 has been killing it, and I'm actually behind by over 8%. Hence why, if you do watch my new series that I've made over on Free Trade, then you will see that I am actually starting to track the FTSE 100 a little bit closer on there, and hopefully I'll be able to capture some of that upside. Another really underrated feature on Snowball Analytics is their top dividend stocks tool feature, which means you can actually look at different metrics for particular stocks and ones that fit your criteria, and it'll narrow it down for you. So then it will help pick you out different stocks for your portfolio if you are looking to add different stocks into your portfolio. There's also a dividend payout calendar feature, which means you can actually see which stocks are going to be paying out for the month, and you can change this. So for example, I could switch this across to only British stocks, which is really helpful because it means I can see which different UK dividend paying stocks are going to be paying out in August, and I can also look at future months as well. And if you come across onto the community feature, you can see which are the most popular stocks owned by other investors on Snowball Analytics. And if you continue scrolling down, a very nice feature on here is that you can see other people's portfolios. So you can actually compare your portfolio against theirs, or you can gain some inspiration from other investors' portfolios on the Snowball app. And finally, if you go into the My Goal app, this is one of the newer features added by Snowball Analytics and one that I absolutely love. With this feature, you can plug in certain metrics. So for example, if I wanted to earn £24,000 annually through my portfolio, and then I can plug in an amount that I want to contribute per month, and also a dividend yield that my portfolio will be generating, alongside a dividend growth rate I think I can achieve on a yearly basis. And then you can press save and calculate, and what this will do will come out with a graph showing you how long it is likely going to take for you to achieve your goal. With this particular goal, we can see that by 2039, so in only 14 years time, I could be potentially earning over £2,000 a month from my portfolio, and actually potentially be in a position that I can be work optional and reduce my hours significantly at my current job. And of course, circumstances may change, so you may not be able to continue contributing a certain amount per month, and also your dividend growth rate may change alongside your yield. But this feature is great to just see a ballpark figure into the future and really keep you motivated when continuing on your dividend investing journey. So it can be really motivating to see these figures on a yearly basis, break them down for you, and help continue to keep you motivated throughout the journey. And that's everything I wanted to share about Snowball Analytics and why it's become such an important part of my investing process. It's simple, powerful, and it saves me time while keeping me focused on my long-term goals. If you're serious about growing your portfolio and want a tool that works as hard as you do, I definitely recommend giving this one a try. So click the link in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep your investments compounding and your snowball rolling. For now, this is the Geordie Pig Investor, over and out.